Great. So we're going to start lying on our back, nice and relaxed. Stop bending the knees if we need it. Parallel feet. Overball nearby. Pillow under our head just to double check our alignment of the body. That's it. And we take a little moment to allow the body to soften, wriggle, shake and shimmy out. Surrender into the floor. Big deep breath in. Exhale, soften and release. Inhaling in through the nose. Exhale and soften. Having a little check-in first without the props. How it feels to tilt our pelvis back and forth, belly button and pubic bone. 12 and 6 o'clock on our pelvic clock. So just a little rock back and forth, a little check-in. And a little rock side to side. And maybe a little circle all the way around in both directions. Just our first little check-in. And then keeping the pelvis where it is, the feet soft and relaxed. We're going to sweep our fingertips along the floor and up towards the ceiling. Internally rotating the palms to face each other and taking them back overhead, thumbs hitchhiking back into the floor above you for our arm arc. And then carve them, arc them, reach them all the way back through. And again, energy out of the fingertips, sweeping them up towards the ceiling. Internally rotate the palms to face each other, sending those arms back overhead, lovely soft ribs. And then carve them, arc them, reach them all the way back through. We'll do one more like this. Energy out of the fingertips, nice relaxed breath. Inhale and exhale as many times as you fancy. Keep the arms back there for a little moment if you want. And then draw those big rainbow arcs all the way back through the space to the mat. Grabbing our soft overball, we stand down into our feet. We lift our hips up and we place the ball in underneath our pelvis, directly underneath the flat bit of the pelvis. So it's not into the lower back too much at all, if any. Directly underneath the pelvis, back behind us, underneath our bottoms. And we can rest our pelvis on the ball. You can have a little wriggle around. And we take our focus back to our pelvic tilts, our 12 and 6. Using the soft overball to maybe get a little bit more towards 12 and a little bit further away as we point towards 6 o'clock. So we're getting that lovely rock back and forth. Allow the shoulders to relax, the neck to be long, relax the jaw as well. Just a gentle tilt back and forth. And then we can go side to side, right and left. And you can really almost drop off the ball on one side and then the other. And that might have some feedback, and that's okay. Might even be feedback you want to hang out in. Feels kind of nice, different, stretching, pulling, yawning open. And then we can trace those big circles again, all the way around the ball, all the way around our pelvis. In a clockwise direction and an anti-clockwise direction, just having a wriggle in. All the while our lower back is relaxing and dropping away. You don't have to do too much with it. And then we can allow the pelvis to go quiet. You can have your hands either on your pelvis or maybe down by your side, maybe a gentle press into the floor. They might go a little bit wider. Keeping the soft overball underneath us, we stand down into the left foot and allow the right leg to float up to tabletop. We can have a little wriggle of the foot, a point and flex, a little circle of the ankle. We can stir in the hip joint, so we can turn the thigh in the hip joint and weave the foot to the other side of the room, internal and external rotation of that thigh bone. That's it. And then we can bring the right foot back down, pressing it into the floor, keeping the pelvis relatively quiet. We're not too worried about it just yet. We can have a little wriggle of the left foot in the air, point and wriggle through the toes and the ankle. We can internally and externally rotate the thigh bones. So it's like it's having a little stir side to side in the hip socket. And then bring it back down. Keeping the pelvis quite quiet, we can stand down into the left foot and float the right leg up to tabletop. And then bringing it back down as it pushes into the floor, the left leg floats up with ease. And we take our legs for this 90-90 tabletop knee float, marching on the spot. 4 or 5 to either side. Ribs are soft. Neck is long. Jaw is relaxed. And pelvis is quite quiet, though it is on a big, soft, inflatable ball. Allowing one leg to float up, the knee to go directly over the hip. And then switching through to the other side, making this our last on each side so we feel even. Nice. So then from here, we're going to stand down into the feet. We're going to lift the hips up into the air and take the soft ball out from underneath us, laying ourselves all the way back down, that lovely space we find in the lower back of the pelvis. Glue the legs together as if they're one leg and let your arms go out nice and wide. And allow the legs to windscreen wiper side to side, keeping them glued together, stuck on top of each other. And just exploring what it feels like to take this little twist in the body. Lovely. And then come back through to center. We open the feet back into a parallel position. We're going to interlace our hands back behind our head. Our thumbs go down the nape of the neck. Little shuffle there. You may even want to get rid of your pillow if you feel your hands are supporting your head enough. And we move into our chest lift. So we soften the chin to the chest. We exhale and we slide the breastbone and roll our ribs back and up behind us into the mat to come up and take a peek at our knees. Nothing really changes here. This is not a crunch. This is all soft and long. We inhale into the back of us and exhale, soften and lay ourselves all the way back down. And again, soften the chin to the chest. And exhale, slide the breastbone, roll the ribs, breastbone, ribs, heavy head, relax the jaw. Inhale, exhale, soften and lay ourselves all the way back down. One more like this, soften the chin to the chest, slide the breastbone, roll the ribs. Inhale here, and exhale to soften. Now we're going to release our head down into the floor, definitely no pillow needed here, as we take our soft overball and place it in between our thighs. So we've got no head cushion in underneath us. The ball is in between our thighs. It can be as close to your groin area as you want. The feet are in parallel, and we're going to walk our feet closer towards us as we prepare to bridge. Arms by our side. We inhale to prepare. Exhale, stand down into the feet. Feel that lovely tilt of the pelvis, a gentle squeeze of the ball as we peel ourselves up off the mat, reaching our knees over our toes. Little squeeze of the ball just to help us find our inside seams of the thighs. Inhale here and exhale, soften and lay yourself all the way back down. And again, inhale to prepare. Exhale, stand down into the feet, tilting the pelvis and peeling the body up off the mat. Reaching the knees over the toes and standing into the big toe side of the foot even more. Squeeze the ball a little bit and soften the breastbone, the back of the throat. And then exhale and lay yourself all the way down through the rib cage, the mid, the lower back, the pelvis. Sitting bones come down and we relax into the mat. One more time like this. We inhale to prepare. Exhale, stand down into the feet. Feel that tilt of the pelvis. Reach the knees over the toes, yawning ourselves up, opening through the hips. Inhale here. And exhale to soften and lay ourselves all the way back down. Sit. Taking the ball out in between the Might be between the legs. You can shake the legs away. Give them a little wriggle out. Great. And then we're going to turn around onto our side. Place the soft ball out of the way. Maybe grab the pillows and head cushions again. I'm going to come to lie on our side for our book opening and our leg exercises. That's it. So we need either quite a dense pillow or folding the pillow in half just so the head is in line with the rest of the body. We are foot over foot, knee over knee, hip over hip, feet to a nice our legs are in a nice triangle position. Underarm out underneath us, palm facing up, and then our top arm can go out in front as well. And we can imagine like there's a bar of soap in our hands, and we can allow this top hand to kind of run up and down this inside seam of the arm. That's it, having a little bit of a lather, a little bit of stroke. We notice the head will roll, the ribs will roll. And we can keep the hips quite steady, though mine like to rock around as well. But the steadier they are, the more you'll find range up here. And we don't really drop into any little habits the body likes to pick up. And then we move through our book opening. So we inhale this top hand to our heart center. Elbow sticks up in the air. Exhale, we soften and rotate. So you're moving through the rib cage, rolling onto the pillow at the back of your head, taking a peek up towards the ceiling. Inhale to unfold the arm, reach the fingertips back behind you. And then exhale to carve it, arc it, reach it all the way over and close the book. And again, inhale the hand to the heart center. Exhale, soften, rotate. Inhale to unfold the arm long and away. Exhale to carve it, arc it, reach it all the way back through. Two more like this. Inhale the hand to the heart center. Exhale, soften, rotate. Soft ribs as well, soft jaw. Inhale to lengthen the arm. Exhale to carve it, arc it, reach it, maybe even beyond the fingertips on the floor. Last one, inhale. Exhale, turning. Inhale to unfold. And exhale to close that book. Bringing the arms closer towards us, the top hand pushes into the floor and the bottom leg pushes into the floor. I have to think about that one. To allow this top leg to float up with ease. Taking our little crease at the front of the hip and our yawning open through the hip to send the knee underneath us. The leg stays in this lovely bent position. As we take a little look at this lovely crease and fold and this opening in the front of the hip, really reaching that knee down and away. I almost feel like a little bit of a stretch here. Lengthen it away from you. Fold and crease and yawning open. Nothing changes in the spine. It's all happening in that hip socket. The thigh bones just stirring around, swirling around, back and forth. Great, and then we can flex in the foot and kick it long and away from us. Someone can pull on that heel of ours. That's it. We could pulse up for 4, 3, 2, 1. We could do tiny circles back and forward. Nice, and then we can fold and bring the leg back on top. The legs are back in their triangle position. We bring our top hand onto this top hip, and we just give it a little push away, a little nudge away. So we notice it likes to get shorter because it's hanging out. So if we were to lengthen a little bit, keeping an eye on that length, keep the feet glued together and allow the top knee to open into our clamshell openings. So the pelvis is staying quite quiet. And we're externally rotating this thigh bone in the socket. Won't be very big. That's it. Just 2 more. Lovely, and we can have a little shake out there, a little pat out if we need to. Great. Very briefly, bring ourselves through onto all fours. We're just going to take a little brief yawn. In fact, you can use your pillow to pad your knees if you wanted to or needed to. Very brief little cat-cow, opening up through the spine, back and front. So pushing into the floor, big rounded flexion. Inhale, open the sitting bones, send your gaze and your heart center through. Exhale. And inhale. Nice, maybe one more. Or any little wriggles or tail wags, worms, circles. That you need. Fabulous. And then from here, you can kind of use the pillow underneath you to turn yourself around to the other side if you needed to. That's it. And we're going to come to lie on our other side. Trying to gather all my pillows. And just do the other side for our book opening. So take your time to get around onto your other side. Bit of organizing always needed. Right. And again, shoulder under shoulder, that can always be the tricky one. Hip under hip, that's the other sneaky one. The feet and the knees are normally okay to keep an eye on. That's it. And the arms are out in front of you. And you can start with that lathering of the soap or the rubbing of the top hand up and down this inside seam, just checking in. What can move? What's getting a little bit sticky? What wants to move all together as one? We're just trying to isolate through the rib cage and your upper back and your shoulders. Good. And then from here we go again with our book opening. We inhale the hand to the heart center. Elbow sticks up in the air. Shoulder away from ear. Exhale, soften, rotate, sending your gaze and your heart center and your chest up towards the ceiling. Try and keep the legs glued on top of each other. A little bit of resistance, bit of feedback there. Inhale to unfold the arm back behind you. And then exhale to carve it, arc it, reach it all the way back down. Good. We inhale the hand to the heart center. Exhale, soften, rotate. Inhale to lengthen the arm. Exhale to carve it, arc it, reach it, closing our book. Twice more. Inhale the hand to the heart center, shoulder away from ear. Exhale, soften, rotate, soften those bottom ribs as well. Inhale to unfold the arm. Exhale to close our book. Last time, inhale. Exhale, soften, rotate. Inhale to lengthen the arm. Exhale to carve it, arc it, reach it all the way back through. Nice. Moving through from their chest now to our legs and our hips again. The arms come in, the top hand pushes into the floor. The bottom leg almost pushes down into the floor as well. And we see how easy it is to lift up this top leg. Creasing and folding at the front of the hip. And then yawning it open, sending the knee directly underneath us, not overarching in our lower backs at all. So it's all happening in this hip joint. The thigh bone is just stirring around in the socket, and the more stable and grounded we can feel, so pushing that bottom leg into the floor, pushing this hand into the floor, really letting the underside of us drop into the mat and stabilize, the more we can access range and ease in this hip joint. On the next one, as we bring the knee through, we flex in the foot and we kick it long and away out underneath us. We're going to do 4 little pulses up here. And then 4 tiny circles backwards. Trying to keep the body quite quiet, so I'm still pushing against the floor a little bit to help stabilize me. And 4 forwards. Lovely. We bring the legs back on top of each other into that triangle position. Just give this top hip a little nudge away so it's really stacked over the bottom one and we're not just sinking into it. That's it. And then we move into our clamshell openings, allowing the knee to float up, to open, and the feet to stay glued together. Keeping the pelvis quite quiet. You can also check in by having the arm press against the back of the body a little bit, top of that buttock. Good, last one here. And then we can have a little shake out, a little tap out, a little wriggle through. So then from here, we're going to come around and come onto our back again, if that's comfortable in that position to do so. Have a little wriggle around. Feet come back into a parallel. And we interlace the hands back behind the head again. Hoping you can see me okay. So feet are in parallel, knees are bent, hands back behind our head, interlaced, thumbs going down the nape of the neck, and the elbows wrap around in our peripheral vision. We float one leg up to tabletop, and then the other. So here we are with both legs in 90-90. And we soften the chin to the chest, slide the breastbone, roll the ribs, and curl up to take a peek at our knees, just through our upper thoracic, nothing else really getting involved. Heavy head in our arms. We're then going to reach the right leg long and away, and bend and soften and bring it in, and then the left. Now it's more that I'm unfolding the knee as opposed to reaching it really high or really, really low. So it's kind of just unfolding the knee, yawning the back of the knee open into that 45-degree angle, reaching out through the big toe, soft, heavy head in the hands, lovely upper back curve only. Pelvis quite quiet though, it might have a bit of a wriggle going on. Last one to either side. And then we bring one foot down and then the other. We release the head, neck, and shoulders back down. We're going to stretch the legs away from the arms and have a bit of a starfish yawn almost. And then gently bend and soften in the knees, curl back around onto your side. So much so into that fetal position that you can help push yourself up to seated. And then come to sit cross-legged if that's comfortable. If you need to sit on something, do. I'm just going to sit on a little cushion, that helps. So we still want to find our sitting bones, even if we're sat on a cushion or a block. Different days are different sensations, but it just can help with the hips. That's it. So we can sit cross-legged and we can have a little wriggle here and just check in how that feels. We can go for stirring of our pot. Oh, those are some stiff hips of mine. That's it. Good. And in the opposite direction. Lovely. And we want to just double check. So check your crossing of your legs. I'd like you to change it, even if it has to be further away, even if it isn't as comfortable, it might be more comfortable. And we're just going to take one or two little stirs here with our legs in this position, because it is slightly different when one leg is closer to the body than the other. Good. Fabulous. We can then let the feet go out wide and our hands come back behind us a little bit as we allow them to gently windscreen wiper. You're rolling more on the edges of the feet, just letting the knees drop to the right, to the left, to the right. You might wriggle forward or back to the left. Great. And then you can bring them back into a cross-legged position, or you can have them in a diamond position, whichever is more comfortable for you. Play around with it till you find it. So we just want to make sure that both sitting bones are on the floor. I don't think I need that now. Great. And we're going to move through our side bending. So we send our fingertips along the mat, slightly out in front of us. We continue to sweep the right arm up towards the ceiling. Thumb is hitchhiking back behind us. The palm is facing over to the left. Left hand comes onto the floor, and we softly yawn over in the wind, over to the left, opening up through this whole right side. Fan those ribs open. Shoulders away from ears, chin away from chest. Big, lovely side bend. Breathe through it, wriggle into it if you need to. Nothing else to stay still or rigid. You're exploring this side bend for you. We're going to push off the floor a little bit to inhale and spring up. Pouring our left arm up towards the ceiling and over. And again, just organizing the shoulders, giving the jaw a little wriggle. Nothing needs to be fixed or held. So you should be able to move in most of the positions. And again, we push off the floor. We inhale up. Exhale, soften and side bend. Inhale, center. Exhale, soften, side bend. Good. Inhale, center. Exhale, soften and side bend. Last time, inhale. Exhale, soften. Great. Having a little shake off there, coming back through the center. You can have your hands out in front of us. You can have them in prayer. I tend to place one sort of inside the other and make like a big circle in front of me. We're just going to take a little twist side to side, a little look. So you'll keep your eye line with your thumbs. So your head is staying over your spine or in line with your spine as such. And you're just having a tiny rotation, but we've done plenty of book opening, so that shouldn't be too bad. Great, have a little shake off there. And then we want to bring ourselves to standing, however feels comfortable. So the legs might come around to the side, hands come down to bring one foot through, pushing ourselves back into our feet always, as opposed to forward. So you'll always push back up to come up into the heels. And we come to standing and just have a little shake off, a little wriggle. Good. We're going to inhale and sweep our arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale and push down in front of you. Inhale as if you're taking a big jump or off. Exhale and push the ceiling away. Inhale here. Exhale, soften, round and contract over a massive beach ball. Soft bend in the knees, so it's not all the way down. Shake out through the arms and unroll all the way up to standing. Maybe let the feet go wide, soft bend in the knees, and just take a little figure of 8 to the hips. And in the opposite way. Great. Bring the feet back in underneath you, parallel or shoulder width apart. Inhale, shrug the shoulders up. Exhale, soften. Sigh it all out. One more time. And let it all go. Great. And we will leave it there for today.